Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today, we're going to be talking about the new moon in Cancer, and this is occurring on or around June 28th, 2022, depending on where you are in the world, and it is occurring at 7 degrees of Cancer. We will be doing the new moon manifesting ceremony. It's going to be the final one before I go on maternity leave, so if you would like to join that, the information on how to do so is in the description box below. Send a donation of any amount. It doesn't matter what it is. If you can't afford a donation, just send me an email. Let me know that you'd like to join, and I will send you the link. I want to get as many people together as possible for this so we can really enjoy this time together and honor all of the moon ceremonies that we've done for the past year or so. I'm not sure how long we've been doing it. It's been a little while now, and we have a really good time. So I'm definitely looking forward to that with you guys. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on June 28th. This new moon is really interesting, you guys. So it is, of course, in the sign of Cancer, and at 7 degrees, it is actually a Libran degree. Each of the degrees of the zodiac relates to a different astrological sign and has different energies that it encompasses. So 7 degrees is a Libra or a Libran degree. But it is, of course, within the sign of Cancer that we're finding this particular 7 degrees. And this is an interesting new moon because we have all of that Cancer energy, which is very feminine, right? Cancer is ruled by the moon. And so the planetary ruler of this moon is the moon. So we're very much in our feels. We're very much in our feminine, in our receptivity. And yet we have some really... what's the word that I'm looking for here? We have some rather intense aspects going on. So the sun and the moon are conjunct, as they always are during the new moon, but they're also in conjunction with true black moon Lilith. And so true black moon Lilith is the representation of the wild and rebellious feminine. So we have this beautiful feminine energy of Cancer, and it's being emphasized by true black moon Lilith. But this is really bringing out the revolutionary aspects of the feminine energy. It is bringing out some of the shadow aspects of the feminine energy. And so there's a deep healing going on here of our feminine energies, a deep healing and transformation. We also have our masculine energies during this new moon going through a massive transformation. We have, and I'm going to get out my notes here so that I get this all right here. We have Mars in conjunction with Aries, which, as those of you who follow this channel know, we call Aries the feminine warrior planet. She is actually very similar to Pluto. She exists on the far reaches of the solar system with Pluto. She's about the same size, and she represents a lot of similar aspects, but she represents that feminine power and that feminine form of, I guess you could say, like resistance almost. So she's like a hybrid of Mars and Pluto's energy, but with a feminine twist. So it's really interesting that we have Mars in conjunction with Aries, also in a sextile to Saturn and a square to Pluto, which, like we said, Pluto is a similar energy to Aries. And so there's a lot of activation of our masculine energy here, a lot of activation of our power, and possibly power struggles. So we're really learning how to step into our power with this new moon, how to step into our feminine power, how to step into our masculine power. We also have the sun, the moon, and true black moon Lilith being exactly squared by Jupiter. And what I mean by this is a lot of times when we talk about these aspects, there's a few degrees, give or take, between them. With this square to Jupiter, it is exact. Jupiter is at 7 degrees of Aries, squaring these planets, the sun, the moon, and true black moon Lilith, at 7 degrees of Cancer. All right, so we have this pressure, right? And Jupiter in Aries, this is also a masculine energy. It's a fire energy. There's a lot of fiery energy mixed with this watery energy here. And so it's really this push-pull. Right, there's this struggle here between the old and the new, and this is not going to sound new, you guys, because we've been talking about this, right? These energies just replay themselves over and over again, really influencing us from different angles, right? So this will sound familiar when we talk about this push and pull between the old and the new, between the comfort zone and stepping outside of the comfort zone. This energy, this new moon in Cancer, really wants us to stretch ourselves beyond our boundaries. It wants us to see ourselves and our capabilities and possibilities from a new lens and angle. And it wants us to do the thing that scares us. If any of you guys have not checked out yet both the Cancer season video and the video that Pete Sapper and I just put out on the current mission of the 144,000, I highly recommend that you check those out, because those energies are very relevant with everything that we're talking about here. But it's really about how we're being asked to step up and step out, where it is that we are being asked to move outside of that comfort zone and take a risk. Right? Jupiter in Aries really wants us to take a risk. Jupiter in Aries is a bit of a reckless and impulsive energy, right? So we want to counter that with the intuition of Cancer. This is where we're really learning. It's not only an activation and a healing of our divine feminine and masculine energies, but it's teaching us and showing us how to combine those energies, how to meld and unify those energies and help them to work together. Right? So we make these decisions by utilizing our intuition, by going within, by finding that soft voice, right? That speaks to us from within our being, and then coupling that with the action, right? This is all about divinely inspired action. And yes, as we are moving through this healing process, we may be very triggered during this new moon. And remember, the new moon starts a new cycle for the moon. So this is an energy that we're going to be working with throughout this lunar cycle. But it is absolutely, for many people, there may be triggers, right? And if we are triggered by somebody or something, and this is most likely going to have to do with the relationship between masculine and feminine energies, with our own masculine and feminine energies, that's where we're going to see this playing out the most. And also, like we said, when it comes to our empowerment, when it comes to our ability to make the choices and decisions for ourselves that we feel are most appropriate, right? And wherever we may feel outer forces that feel like they're infringing upon that. And I think it's really interesting to notice sort of the social landscape that we're in right now, at least in this country, with some of the current legislation that was overturned. We can really see how this is going on a collective scale as well, right? But it's going to be happening for each one of us individually. Although some of these societal and collective energies may be some of the things that trigger us, right? And so as we are triggered, we know that this is giving us an opportunity to achieve a deeper level of healing by looking at what's underneath that. Why is it, right? Because anytime that we're triggered, there's a wound that exists that has not yet been healed. If that wound is healed, we are no longer reactive to energy, right? It doesn't activate our pain body. It doesn't activate this fight or flight response within us. Anytime that fight or flight response is activated, there is a wound. And so we want to look at that wound and bring healing to that energy in whatever way it feels most fit for us. So that's going to be coming up. So this is not, when we think of a Cancer new moon, we think about this beautiful, gentle, flowing energy, right? We know we may be a bit moody, we may be a bit emotional, but we generally think of it as a beautiful, dreamy, soft energy, right? Cancer is the mother. Cancer energy is very nurturing. We think about really nestling down in the home, having our creature comforts, having the people we love near us, all of that psychic activation. And yes, all those elements are present, but there's also a big shakeup with this energy as well. It's really asking us to step into our feminine warrior energy and our masculine nurturer energy, right? This is, like we said, the melding, the blending of the masculine and the feminine, and a real upgrade that we can receive if we are ready to receive it. Other things that are interesting about this new moon, we have Neptune stationed retrograde in the sign of Pisces. And so we have that powerful influence of Neptune, which of course is asking us to take everything that we're experiencing and view it from a higher spiritual viewpoint, right? How is it that we can see everything transpiring in our lives from that higher point of view, from that greater spiritual context and point of view? And I feel like Neptune is really asking us during this new moon as well to detach ourselves a little bit, because there is so much energy being shaken up right now. As we were talking about, Neptune's asking us to zoom out a little bit. It's asking us to look at the bigger picture. It's asking us to understand that yes, everything that's happening is important, but this is also just a little speck of, it's like a little speck of time in the infinity of our existence, right? So we don't need to take anything too seriously or too personally. That's one thing that this Neptune energy is offering us. It is also offering us that, remember, Neptune is known as the Great Dissolver. So it's offering us an opportunity to dissolve these blocks, to dissolve these wounds and these triggers. It may also be lending a bit of a, just an extra mystical energy to everything that's going on right now. So just a little fun tidbit there with that Neptunian energy in the air. We want to be aware of that, and we want to be aware that things may feel a little bit unreal. We may have those moments where we want to make sure that we are detaching, but we're not like disassociating from what's going on around us, right? That healthy level of detachment is what Neptune hopefully can offer us. We also have Uranus moving into conjunction with the North Node. They're a few degrees apart still, but they're within conjunction to each other. So Uranus really activating that North Node. And of course, then naturally opposing our South Node. So this energy is really bringing in this push toward that new energy, right? Toward our evolution. There's a lot of that forward, that energy that is really calling us to continue to evolve, to continue to move forward, to continue to be progressive in our approach to everything that's going on right now. And really activating, as it comes into conjunction with that North Node, that T-square that is still present between Saturn and the nodes. And so we're getting this extra push from Uranus, and perhaps in some cases some divine intervention to move us forward. If we've known where Saturn has been asking us to commit toward our path forward, and we haven't made the moves yet, or perhaps we're still allowing ourselves to get pulled back into that old energy, Uranus is coming in and maybe giving us a nice push forward, if you will. Interestingly enough, Uranus is also, and so this would be the North Node as well, since they're within a few degrees of each other, and a sextile to Juno and a sextile to Ceres. And so this is bringing a deep level of healing and nurturing to our relationships. So in the midst of all of this, we are getting an extra boost when it comes to our relationships, when it comes to our ability to heal. Because remember, as we heal our own masculine and feminine energies, we're able to heal the way that we relate on the outside to these energies as well, and the way that we relate to each other in relationship. We are moving into a whole new paradigm, and a whole new paradigm of relationships is being created as well, right? Our 5D relationships do not look like our 3D relationships. And Pete and I believe, of the Chosen 144, are getting ready to dive into this relationship content with you guys a little bit. We've been talking about it. Because it is really, as we discussed the other day, one of the greatest tests of our evolution and how much we've really grown and healed is we find that and we see that in our relationships. So this energy is really assisting us in clearing out anything that needs to be cleared out, so that we can move into this energy where we're able to have healthy, conscious 5D relationships, right? Relationships that are not built on resentment or codependence. Relationships that are not territorial, right? Relationships that are more in this fashion of unconditionally loving and appreciative. Relationships that boost us forward and lift us up instead of holding us down. All right, so we're really going to be noticing those things, where our relationships rate on that spectrum, and what it is that we can do and heal within ourselves in order to move that forward. I think that's the gist of this energy, really. The universe is truly asking us, are we willing to take a risk? Are we willing to follow our divine guidance? Are we willing to place bets on ourselves, right? To have faith in ourselves. Are we able and ready to heal what needs to be healed within our own masculine and feminine energies so that we can achieve and experience a whole new level of relationship, not only with ourselves, but with the people in our outer reality as well? And just this energy of liberation. This new moon in Cancer is all about liberation. Liberation of the feminine, liberation of the masculine, right? Liberation of the all-encompassed new 5D human, if you will. All right, and so what are we going to do? I want to go, actually, we're going to go old school here, and we're going to do the traditional Moonology deck to start out. For this new moon in Cancer, let's get some energies here. Are you willing to gamble and take a risk on yourself? Clear. Are you willing and able to follow the divinely inspired guidance that you are receiving? Are you able to listen to yourself, right? To your true self? Are you able to distinguish between your soul self and your human self, your ego self, right? What areas, we're thinking about true black moon here, right? Black moon Lilith. What areas of your being, especially when it comes to your feminine energy, but in any areas, right? Do you still feel the need to suppress or repress aspects of your truth and who you are? Are there areas of yourself, your expression of your feminine or masculine energies, that you still feel ashamed about? Are you still allowing society's expectation to dictate the choices that you make in the way that you live your life? Do you feel safe and secure expressing who you truly are? First card out, you are good enough, full moon in Virgo. All right, so Spirit coming through, wanting to remind us that we are incredibly worthy. Worthiness is going to be coming up for a lot of people. I'm feeling during this new moon, this is an issue that we're going to be working with. Where is it that you feel unworthy, and why is that? Who taught you that? Who taught you that you were not worthy of the love that you desire, of the connection that you desire, of you following your path, right? Of your purpose, of being here on this planet at this time? Like, this energy goes deep for some people. And it's like we're really being guided to look at our good qualities, and for some people it may be difficult to find during this time, but really, what are you good at? What are your strengths? What is beautiful about you? That's what Spirit wants to know and wants you to ask during this new moon in Cancer. What is beautiful about you? All right, really focus on that. Don't spend this energy picking yourself apart. All right, a lot of us, we confuse our healing process with just being mercilessly cruel to ourselves as far as picking apart all of our flaws and where it is that we feel that we could use improvement. All right, so that's not what healing is about. We have to approach this with unconditional love for ourselves, which is obviously easier said than done for a lot of us, right? But if we approach our shadow work from this place of unworthiness, from this place of guilt and shame, like, basically, I feel like what I want to say right now is, if that's the way, that's where you're coming from with it, you may need to back up a little bit. It's not time to do your shadow work, because it's not going to be productive, I want to say. Yeah, it's not going to be productive if you're approaching your shadow work from a place of self-criticism. And it sounds harsh, but I want to say like self-hate. All right, because when you're examining the parts of yourself that make you feel most uncomfortable, it's so important to come from from a place of love. That's how we integrate the shadow. It's almost like we splinter it off more sometimes when we come from this place of unworthiness, from this place of self-loathing, from this place of shame. All right? So for some people, it's like Spirit saying, it's time to back off from the shadow work a little bit and focus on the self-love piece first. And yes, shadow work is essential in order to experience true self-love. All right, because until we know all the pieces of ourselves and love all the pieces of ourselves, we cannot say that we are whole and complete and that we truly love ourselves if there are pieces that we're still hiding in the dark. However, we have to develop at least a certain level of compassion for ourselves in order to really delve into that. So bringing it back just to that self-love, that self-care. How is it that you can show yourself through your actions that you are worthy, that you are good enough? And this is during this moon too. We're being called to really look at the people that we have surrounding ourselves. This is coming back to the relationship aspect. Do the people in your reality reflect this energy that you are good enough? Or do you have a bunch of people in your reality that pick you apart on a regular basis? That constantly make you feel or that there is something shameful about you? All right, when you're around somebody, just do this general litmus test whenever you're spending time with somebody. Do you feel better or worse about yourself afterwards, and why? Is it an energy that they're putting out? Is it something that they're saying, an expectation that they're holding you to that you're failing to meet in their eyes? Or is it coming from you, where it's your own internal dialogue that's comparing yourself to them and feeling less than? All right, where is that energy coming from? Because you want to surround yourself with people that lift you up. With people that see that you are worthy. With people that reflect the truth and the beauty of you to you. Even if you can't necessarily always see it. And of course, if you can't see it, you're going to be attracting people who can't see it. And who point out your flaws if all you're thinking about is your flaws, right? That's basic law of attraction stuff. But still, many of us, even if we do attract a lot of those people and that attention, because that's how we truly feel about ourselves, many of us also do have people or have the capability to find people who reflect that loving energy back to us. All right, and for some of us, if we don't have access to those people in our reality, we may want to get, even if it's like a therapist or somebody, a mentor, somebody that we can work with that can help to reflect that back to us. And we definitely want to, it's better to be alone than to be surrounded. I wanted to say it really simply and just say it's better to be alone than to be surrounded by assholes. All right. So if that's what's apparent in your reality, you're better off alone right now. If you don't have any of those positive people in your corner, then just be in your own corner. Learn how to be in your own corner right now. We have luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius. All right, so there's a lot of this beautiful, even though Jupiter is in a squaring position during this new moon, which is a point of tension, Jupiter is still bringing us lots of this. Jupiter is Jupiter, all right? Doesn't really matter where Jupiter is or what Jupiter is doing, what sign it's in. Jupiter is Jupiter, and in Aries, Jupiter is very fired up, right? So Jupiter is challenging us with this square. But he's still bringing in that luck. He's still bringing in that positive energy, that supercharged energy in the sign of Aries. You are worthy, and you are worthy of the good fortune that the universe wants to bestow upon you. But you have to know that. And when you know that, it's the knowledge that you are worthy coupled with the focused intention, right? That is what brings in the abundance and the beauty that you're seeking in your life, the change, right? Expect powerful change, new moon eclipse. The change that you are seeking to create. Anybody who has been working towards significant shifts and changes in their life, something that you've really been focusing on wanting to shift, you're being given some extra energy, an extra boost of energy to really achieve. It's like and for a lot of people, it feels like it's an internal shift that's needed to happen so the external could shift. And this new moon in Cancer is really providing you with the fuel to achieve this internal transformation that is then going to cause or facilitate the kind of change that you're wanting to see in your outer reality. And it all comes from this energy of worthiness. This energy of worthiness and this energy of believing. right? Like we say, like my friend Kayla and I, we originally started this slogan back in our channel that we began together, Intuitive Insights. All possibilities are possible. Do you believe that? And do you believe that all possibilities are possible for you? Then we have a new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. So we got one full moon energy with full moon in Virgo, right? And what that tells me is that this is the intensity of the emotion when it comes to these feelings of worthiness. There's a lot of powerful energy, emotional energy connected to that. But then these 3 new moon cards coming after are showing all this beautiful fresh energy that wants to come in, that is coming in. All right, so for some people, you have been really seeking a romantic partner. You've been seeking a new, like we said, those new templates of relationships, so that 5D relationship. You've been seeking that. And really doing a lot of work on yourself and a lot of work with this self-love and this worthiness energy in order to become the type of person that you're trying to attract. And there's something within this energy as your own masculine and feminine energy shift, right? Something is revealed to you, possibly for some of you, like I said, through something that's a trigger that allows some sort of cathartic healing to take place, that needed to take place so that you could move forward and initiate this new cycle of giving and receiving love in all the ways that there are, okay? All the ways that you can give and receive love. It's like you are so loving. And for some of you guys, it's like you've really been missing that romantic piece. And you've really been desiring. It's like you give love in so many ways. You are so receptive. But there's been a deeper level or lack of worthiness that's prevented you from being able to experience that in romantic relationships. There's been a lot of healing that had to occur. And I see that this new moon in Cancer being a real shift in that energy towards what it is that you're wanting to draw into your reality. We have a win-win outcome as forecast full moon in Libra on the bottom of the deck. And remember, like we said, 7 degrees is a Libran degree. So there is a degree of justice to this new moon. Karmic justice. Being fair, standing in your integrity. Rulings or decisions for some people I'm really feeling here as well. So if there has been something, whether this is a legal thing, a divorce settlement, custody, whether this is any of those kinds of, any sort of energy like that, I feel really positive energy coming in for that as well. But it involves you really standing in your integrity. Standing in your truth and your integrity. And once again, it keeps coming back to knowing that you're worthy. Knowing that you're worthy of whatever outcome it is that you are hoping to achieve. For some people, I feel like when it comes to the love life thing too, it's like you've been balancing the scales in some way, shape, or form. And now the scales are balanced, and it's like you're ready to hit the jackpot. I just saw like a slot machine or something. And then with all the 7s, right? 777. The end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. Yeah, so somebody's going to be victorious. You're healing a massive cycle here. And for some of you guys, the cycle went back lifetimes. When it comes to love and relationships. When it comes to your ability to triumph in some area of your life. It's like there's an energy that you've been stuck in for a long time, and it all traces back to this worthiness energy. And you're finally able to move and shift out of that. And somebody is really getting something that they've been wanting for a really long time, whether this is a new relationship, a healthier relationship, whether this is, like we said, some sort of legal decision or legal matter. Or just not, it doesn't even necessarily have to be legal in the traditional sense. It could be just justice in some situation. Some situation where you were harmed, you were hurt. And you could just kind of like in your mind got the short end of the stick. Or you were just really struggling and there's some level of freedom that is achieved here. Remember, this energy is all about freedom. Any more cards before we move on from this deck? We got more Virgo energy coming out. New moon in Virgo now. A time to give rather than take. So there's a lightening of energy here. There's an energy of being of service. And I think that's part of what this, when we're talking about this karmic energy, it's like the energy that you've been putting out is the energy that's coming back. And there's been a level of frustration for some people, I think, because you feel like you've been putting out really, really positive energy for a really long time and you just haven't seen that coming back to you. I want to see if there's anything else I want to read in that new moon in Virgo card before we move on here. I feel like there's something here. Be of service to others and love and money will follow. And gradual improvements are coming. Let's see. Wonderful bounty is coming your way. Provided you take the steps that you need to take, right? Stop over analyzing things or being too critical. That is the energy that's blocking a situation. All right? Improvement in matters and circumstance. All right, so just confirmation of that. And with this, your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus on the bottom of the deck. It may be that those solutions and plans and the actions that you need to take are becoming more clear. All right, yeah, we're going to pull a couple cards from the Quantum Oracle for this new moon in Cancer now. Whew. Higher self wanting to jump out there. Clear. New moon in Cancer, let's get some energy, some guidance. Some energy and guidance here. This also to me represents, for some people, this tough cycle has been where there's been no reciprocity or there's been no even give and take between individuals. But it may have been that you got so focused on the fact that the other person wasn't giving, that you were giving and giving. You got so focused on that you kind of became the energy that you were criticizing, is almost what I want to say here. And this is also energy where some people are realizing where it is that they are overgiving and how that's draining them. Or where it is that you perhaps have expectations of others that they're not meeting. Where it's like sometimes, especially if we're a giving person, we have these expectations that other people are going to be as giving as we are. And we hold people up to these standards that are actually almost impossible because we are giving too much to begin with. So we want somebody, and it was 3344 for the time when I said that. And so it's almost like we're over giving. We need to learn, remember, masculine and feminine. We need to learn better boundaries for our own giving, and yet we're getting resentful of people for not being as giving as we are. Perhaps we need to take a look in their book and figure out how to back off that energy a little bit. This is not to say that that's going to apply to every situation. There are obviously, like there's no absolutes here, but for some people it is that energy where we begin to realize that we set incredibly high expectations of other people based on energy within us that actually could use a little bit of adjustment itself. Your higher self wanting to pop out again. All right, your higher self has a message for you. During this new moon in Cancer, your higher self has a message for you, all right? And look at that beautiful heart energy. If you follow your heart, that's the message that your higher self has for you. Follow your heart. This is like people who've been trying to make a decision. You've been really confused. You've been stuck in your head. Your higher self is saying, get out of there and get into your heart. If you want to know the proper course to take, if you have been drowning in fear and insecurity, get out of your head and into your heart. Your heart will guide you. Your heart will give you all the answers that you're looking for in the external. All right? And this, I'm laughing because I've been asking for signs and guidance as well. And the universe is like, it's not going to show up out there. Your guides are like, we give you signs out here all the time, but right now it's about going in here. Tapping into your own heart for the guidance. All right? And we know when we're following our hearts because it feels light, it feels joyful. Even if it feels a little bit scary or intimidating, it still feels good. All right? It flows in one respect or form. I mean, look at the expression on her face right now. It's almost like it's not smug, but it's almost like our higher selves are laughing at us a little bit. Oh, look at this adorable human version of myself. Just totally missing the point over and over again. Why are you up here again? Get back here. This is where you'll find your truth. It's not up here. You can't figure it out. You have to feel it. And that's what the new moon in Cancer is going to help us do, is really tap into that heart space and feel the truth. They're like, the answer's been here all along. Why are you looking out there? It's like your heart's been speaking to you and trying to give you guidance. And you're just like, quiet down a minute. I'm trying to listen up here. It's like we're talking to our hearts like, just shh. I'm trying to think. All right? Just pipe down for right now so I can think this through. All right? And your higher self's like, bro, I'm right here. The answer's right here. Just quiet this and so you can hear this. Yeah, there's a major heart awakening coming through this new moon. And as we move through these 7-7 portal energies that are getting ready to kick off here. And the 7-7-8-8, all that energy is connected. It's a massive gateway of energy that begins that first week of July. And I'm going to get into that. We're going to be doing some videos on that there over the next few days, hopefully here. Yeah, it's like your higher self is smirking because they're like, all of the resources and the answers you need are coming. They're actually here. It's just it's like we've been so caught up in our heads worrying about things that we didn't need to worry about, and our higher self is just waiting for us to come to the realization and the understanding that everything is perfect exactly as it is, that we don't need to worry, that we are creating all of the struggle and the stress in our lives. We are creating all of that. And we are completely taken care of. They're like, all the things that you've been worrying and stressing about are going to work themselves out. You just have to get here. You just have to get out of here and into here. It's like your higher self is like, oh, I got some surprises for you. And they're good surprises. All right, we got the Ascended Masters coming out. So there's a lot of powerful guidance coming in, a lot of powerful support for us right now. And the vast universe. Oh my God, you guys, this is a spirit card too. So we got 3 spirit cards out on the table. All right, 2, 7, and 1. It's like the whole universe is conspiring in your favor. And yet we as the human are convinced that that disaster is waiting around every corner. That's like the energy that some of us have been in. All right, and it's like, no, everything is conspiring in our favor right now. It's the complete opposite of what we've been imagining. That's why we got to get out of that headspace. All right, our heart, your heart, Spirit is saying your heart is about to be burst wide open, and you have no idea. You have no idea what is in store for you. All right, you are an ascended master, or this is your journey back to your place as an ascended master. This is powerful, you guys. We got Kindred Partnership on the bottom of the deck, right? For those who we said have really been working towards that and desiring that. That is energy that is coming in, that we are bringing in right now. I want to see if I can look at the cards here. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, it's like the entire universe is rearranging itself to bring you more joy and more blessings than you can possibly imagine. We just have to get out of this catastrophic thinking. Your soul is clearing the way for profound blessings to come, so let the sacred self guide you. As you do, you'll begin to notice magical happenings in your life. All right, so this is about us really coming out of that dark night of the soul with a whole new respect and understanding for the new journey that we've been through, right? For this next phase of our spiritual awakening. We've been looking at it. We've been viewing it all from a very skewed perception. Right, which is what happens when we revert back to living here, and we forget how to live here. We forget how to connect this. All right, let's see. Yeah, this is all just like we said, beautiful abundance and opportunities. The eternal consciousness that co-creates all reality is in alignment with your own heartfelt desires. The entire universe is waiting and willing to respond. So when you start operating from here, everything opens up for you. Everything opens up for you. It's like we've been at the precipice for a really long time, and we thought we were staring. It's like we thought we were staring into a bottomless abyss. All right, but actually within that abyss was all of the possibility. It's like the darkness, it seemed so frightening, but really what we were staring at was unlimited possibility. Remember, that's what exists within the darkness, within the void, is all of creation. Yeah, we've been experiencing this fragmented energy, right? This fragmented version or vision of ourselves. And Spirit is saying, like, don't allow your energy to splinter off into all these directions. Really bring it back in, center it back in here, and then redirect it out to the universe. And connect with all of this beautiful, beneficial energy that is really waiting to make your dreams come true at warp speed. At warp speed, there's a powerful transformation. And then we got another Spirit card under that, all right? With letting go. Oh, you guys, so much beautiful transformation ready and waiting to happen for us. It has been happening, right? We have been undergoing the transformation. We just couldn't see it. Because we've been going back and forth. We've been back and forth, right? We've been traveling back and forth. Putting the mask on and taking it off. Right? Deceiving ourselves in the process. Every time we put that mask back on, every time we pretended to be something or someone that we were not, it's like we lost ourselves. That's where this fragmented energy comes in. Many of us are going to begin to see how it is that we lost ourselves in the role that we were playing. And this whole process has been a process of really teaching us how to let go, how to drop the mask, right? How to stop being what other people want us to be, what we think we need to be in situations. This energy of trying to micromanage, of trying to manipulate in order, because we think there's like that old part of ourselves that still thinks that we have to do this in order to get where we need to go, in order to have what we want. And the universe is saying this is not the way to get. This is the old programming, right? This is the old 3D programming. You put on the suit, you put on the mask, you dress for the part that you want to have, right? Which can be a positive thing, but the way that we're taught in our society, it doesn't come through in a positive way. It's like, be who they want you to be to have what you want, in order to have what you want to have. All right, play the game. We're beginning to realize that we don't have to play the game anymore. That actually, when we drop the mask, when we drop the act, when we stop being who they want us to be and we be who we truly are instead, that's when we drop back into this heart space that actually attracts everything that we desire. It's just some of the things that our higher self desires are maybe not the things that our lower human self believes that we want. All right, so in this process of dropping the act, if you will, we may have to let go of the things that we thought that we wanted in order to get the things that are truly meant for us, to come into alignment with the energy of the things that are truly meant for us. And some of us may be realizing that the things that we thought we wanted are not the same as the things that we truly want. The things that the role, the character that we were playing wanted are not in alignment with the things that we truly want. And for some people, it's been a matter of getting the things that you thought that you wanted and realizing that they don't bring you the satisfaction you thought they would, because they bring satisfaction to the person that you were playing, but not the person that you truly are. Yeah. So we're moving out of this lack consciousness, this scarcity consciousness. And that all comes and roots back to that worthiness energy, right? And it's this energy, I'm holding a creative endeavor here. Some people, it's like you thought that you lacked the ability to be creative. You're being asked to be creative, to come up with another approach to life, to the things that you desire, to the things that you want. But some of us, with this consciousness of lack, with the deception and the mask energy here, it really feels like this scarcity, this lack consciousness, that was the deceptive energy. That was the lie. It's like we're realizing that the entire, our entire reality was disguised and presented to us as this reality of lack and scarcity, but that wasn't real. That wasn't truth. All right? That was a misrepresentation. And we're also realizing where it is that we've been focusing on the material. And we've really allowed that to take such a level of importance in our lives that it's almost like the pursuit of the material has damaged us spiritually. And it's really left us feeling empty. Like some people, it's like you're realizing that, yes, you had to do a lot of things that were out of alignment with what you truly believe spiritually, or what your truth is, or what is actually within your heart, in order to get this thing that you thought you wanted, to achieve this level of success, this level of notoriety, whatever it is, right? And now that you've gotten to this level of success in the material world, you're realizing that you still feel this sense of lack. Even with all of these coins, with all of this respect, this notoriety, this fame, this abundance in the strictly material realms, you still feel empty inside. You still feel that sense of lack. It's like, and this doesn't just have to apply to money, right? But it's like, even this is the addiction. This is the addiction mindset, right? And this addiction mindset, we are, especially in like the country that I live in America, and in modern Western society, right? It's all an addictive energy. Whether we look at, when we hear addiction, we immediately usually think like drugs, alcohol, right? But money's an addiction. Prestige is an addiction. Fame is an addiction. Validation, relationships, right? Codependency, that's an addiction. Our being obsessed with our physical selves, right? Exercise, anything that we do to excess, that we do to fill a void inside of ourselves. Anything external that we pursue in order to fix the internal or ignore the internal is an addiction. All right, so this is addiction energy. This is this addiction mindset where we're realizing what we have is never enough. All right, we set a goal for ourselves, we achieve that goal, and we still feel empty inside, and we think, well, I guess I just need more. I guess I just need to think bigger. But it's coming from that place of need, that place of emptiness. That's what many people are realizing, is we've deceived ourselves into believing, if I could just become this person, if I could just look this way, if I could just have these things, then I'll feel whole, then I'll feel good about myself. And we're still feeling like we're lacking, we're still feeling unworthy. It's like that American dream, right? To have like the 5-car garage, you got all the cars, you got all the glittery things, but you still feel hollow inside. That's the energy that the realization that many people are coming to is, no matter what, it's never going to be enough, right? This is a phrase that we used to use in 12-step, right? In the fellowship that I was a part of, 1 is too many and 1,000 is never enough. All right, and it's that 1,000 is never enough. That's the energy that I'm feeling coming through here. And so we're realizing that we need to try a different tactic, and perhaps it doesn't have to do with what we have. The tactic that we've been using is this energy of if I have, if I am, if I can be. All right, and this doesn't necessarily need to be an outer addiction. This could be this energy of like, when I feel like that. Right, when I have that thing, that internal thing. There's something that we're attempting to become. And when I become that thing, then everything will be okay. Then I will be worthy. It's that energy of I'll love myself when I've achieved inner peace, when I've achieved self-confidence, when I've achieved this level of spiritual attainment or enlightenment for some people even. It's like that's the horse you've been chasing, the dragon you've been chasing, if you will. But it's like we're scrapping this energy and we're realizing I don't have to prove myself that I am worthy. I don't have to prove to myself or anybody else that I am worthy. And it's not about what I have. It's not about what I've achieved, right? It's like for some people, it's like we're addicted to the next certificate that we gain, right? Because that makes us feel worthy, right? The next thing that we've learned, the next thing that we're able to, the next like even healing modality that we're able to learn and the degree or certificate we're able to tuck under our belts. It's not about any of that outer stuff. It's about just being wealthy and abundant from here, in here. And it's like many of us are, it's kind of like that aha moment when we realize that we've been programmed to believe. It's like, it's just a releasing of all kinds of programming is what I'm feeling for people. With this new moon in Cancer, we're realizing where this programming has been present within us, and we're deprogramming ourselves. Because we're finally coming out of here and into here in some way, shape, or form. And we're seeing where we've held these different consciousness, this consciousness of lack, of scarcity, of unworthiness, this addiction consciousness, this consciousness of I'll love myself when I'm good enough when. All right? We're releasing, we're letting go of that. We're letting go of that need to prove ourselves. And we're realizing that we are perfectly worthy just as we are. We're realizing that the energy of lack, of scarcity, this programming only exists when we allow it. It only exists when I believe that I am not enough. That is the only way that there cannot be enough. That any type of scarcity can exist in the world is when I truly believe that I am not enough. When I know that I am worthy, when I know that I am this powerful divine spark of the universe, that I am God in physical form, right? I am a spark of that God energy, of that God light, that Godhead. All right, when I really truly know that, then there can be no lack. I cannot be lacking. My world cannot be lacking. My experience of reality cannot be lacking in any way, shape, or form. Scarcity only exists on the outside when it exists within me. I can only be hungry when I have not learned how to feed myself. And we have, for many people, there's these beautiful new supportive connections coming in as well with this energy. We're drawing in these beautiful new relationships that are going to help us to achieve these new beginnings, these milestones in our lives, this energy of deserving, right? It's like these people who are going to help to teach us how to tap into our heart space more. How to recognize that we are deserving. These new connections, these new supportive relationships and mentors, teachers coming in for people. But they're coming in because because we've realized that we are worthy. Oh, and interesting too. We're also beginning to see as we move through this energy how it is that some of the people that even made us feel unworthy, right? I don't want to say that because nobody makes you feel anyway. The people that reinforce this feeling that we already had within ourselves, that we were unworthy, that we were undeserving, that we were unlovable. How even those people were great teachers to us that helped us to find that within ourselves. That when people deny you validation on the outside, they force you to find it within. All right, so we're learning how to honor those teachers along the way that reinforced this inferiority complex, that reinforced our lack of worthiness. All right, that showed us the people that trigger us. During this new moon in Cancer, we're gaining a respect and an appreciation for the soulmates that came into our lives to trigger the shit out of us in order to allow us to grow. In order to force us to grow, to find within ourselves what we were not receiving from the outside world, right? And we're also bringing in, and we're beginning to learn how to foster and to draw into our reality the connections that really help us to see our worthiness through reflecting our beauty back to us as well, right? The whole gamut of souls and soulmates and all the different roles that they play in our lives. This Cancer new moon is helping us to have an appreciation for all of the diversity of relationships, all the different ways that people strengthen us and challenge us, right? So that we can become the best version of ourselves, the most empowered and the most self-loving version of ourselves that we can be. All right, so just a lot going on here, you guys, with this energy, what it's revealing to us, what it's helping us to heal, what it's helping us to move through the different templates of all types of relationships, of the relationship with self, relationship with other, and all the different types of other relationships that we have, right? Friendship, romantic, mentors, peers, network, our networks, all of the different types of kin, right? Family, all these different types of relationships, the way that all these relationships shape us, and the way that we ultimately learn to shape ourselves through these different reflections of ourselves that we receive from others. All right, I love you guys. You are amazing. I hope that you have an incredibly powerful new moon in Cancer, that you achieve some of these powerful internal shifts, that you have the revelations that you need to have, the understandings that you need to have in order to continue to grow and evolve and become more secure within yourself, more loving within yourself, more connected to your higher self and to the truth of the beauty of who you are. I think we're going to close with a reading from the Kuan Yin Oracle, right? Because this oracle is all about that beautiful divine feminine, that beautiful energy of connecting to the love within ourselves. Clear. Kuan Yin is a beautiful divine feminine guide, a guide to self-love and self-worth. So I think that she's a great energy to call upon as we close this reading today for this new moon in Cancer. What guidance does Kuan Yin have for us as we navigate this new moon in Cancer? The energies that it brings. What guidance does Kuan Yin have for us? I feel like the White Light Oracle would have had beautiful guidance for us too. And so anybody who has the White Light Oracle, pull a card for yourself for this new moon in Cancer. I'm going to pull one for myself as well. This is what it looks like. That energy is calling to me too. We may end up closing with a reading from that one as well. We may do the Kuan Yin and the White Light Oracle. We'll see how we feel. Enter the luminous heart of the sacred is what the front of the White Light Oracle says. Yeah, I think we might. But anybody who has this, I feel like do a personal card pull for yourself too, because there are personal messages that want to come through for people who work with this oracle. All right, Kuan Yin is going to guide us through the Orchid Priestess of Destiny card number 21. In order to progress on our life path, we are being told, in order to move into that North Node energy, first we have to embrace the energy of Uranus. We have to embrace our beauty. We have to embrace our uniqueness, right? But we have to be willing to practice this radical self-love and radical self-acceptance. It is the only way forward. It is the only way that you are able to move towards your purpose and fulfill your purpose in this lifetime. That's what this energy, this new moon in Cancer is telling you. You must learn how to love yourself unconditionally. And I'm being called to say it a different way too. To say loving ourselves unconditionally a different way. To love yourself without condition. All right? Practice that. Receive that download from Source. I know how to love myself without condition. I know how to love others without condition. Source wants to give you those downloads. It wants to teach you. Your higher self wants to show you how to live that truth. How to make that your new belief, your new reality. How to love yourself without condition. That you are capable. I am capable of loving myself and others without condition. I'm capable of receiving unconditional love from myself, from others, and from the Creator. From all. The Orchid Priestess of your highest spiritual destiny calls to you now, beloved. She calls you to your purpose, path, and soul passion. You are called to rise again and again, to live up into your potential with all its uniqueness and beauty. She will call you always with her sweet flute playing deep in your heart, Blossoms of orchid and chrysanthemum falling from her feet, stirring your heart to quest for your truest soul passion. You may have felt different to those around you at different times in your life. This is meant to be, beloved one, right? We are meant to be the outcast. We are meant to have that experience of being a stranger in a strange world, that experience of not fitting in. You cannot be a pioneer of different consciousness on this planet if you feel completely comfortable in the consciousness that already exists around you. Remember, you don't fit into this world because you came here to help create a new one. Do you know that this was chosen on purpose so you could be on purpose? Ooh, really feel into that and what that means. This feeling of being different, of not fitting in, of being uncomfortable on this planet and in this reality, this society, this world, right? This was chosen on purpose so you could be on purpose. Your soul chose to be of service not by fitting in, or rather, your soul chose to be of service by not fitting in, so that it would remember through things not feeling right, that it was meant to help correct and heal the consciousness on our planet, starting with the self. All right, how perfect is this? How perfectly does this wrap everything up that we've been talking about today? Once the self was able to correct and align the consciousness within, so that it matched the love and peace that existed deep in the heart. Where's that card? Deep in the heart, right? It would be easier to help others do the same, even if just by inspiration, right? By being that change that we want to see in the world, by being that way shower. This is where the Orchid Priestess of Destiny, beloved Kuan Yin, in her devotion to your highest spiritual attainment, calls you forward now. Yes, beloved, your divine destiny is calling you. This means it is time to unplug from mass consciousness at a deeper level than ever before. To really let go of the beliefs and thought forms that do not serve your highest destiny, no matter how unchallengeable they may seem to be at first. It's coming to me right now that another belief system that people are shedding when it comes to the scarcity complex is that there is not enough and you cannot achieve, it's like you can't afford to be the person that you want to be. You have to stay stuck in the matrix. You have to stay stuck in the rat race because what you want to do, the ways that you want to be of service to the world, you cannot support you financially, cannot support you in abundance. You cannot experience material abundance while following your passion and your calling. That the two are not in alignment. That your spiritual mission and abundance and material fulfillment do not align. That's a powerful belief system that a lot of people are shifting. And that is coming into, like, you're finding a powerful way to shift that. The bedrock of that is crumbling, that belief system during this new moon in Cancer. And if you guys want assistance with this working through belief systems, please reach out to me. I have a limited number of appointments available before my maternity leave. But I will, of course, let you guys know as soon as I'm taking clients again. Right now, I still have a couple sessions, a couple opportunities left for that. But just know that this is naturally happening, so allow this crumbling to occur. It is time to revise anything inside of you that would hold you back from owning your spiritual power and moving ahead in your divine destiny. It is your own destiny that calls you forward to do this, beloved. Do not fear. It is just you waiting to meet you. Oh, that's beautiful. In all your spiritual beauty and strength. Oh, that is so profound. We're going to get back to that in a second. Embrace the changes, and soon you will enjoy the spiritual reunion at a higher turn of the spiral of your own passionate life of spiritual purpose. The flute and blossoms of the Orchid Priestess help you in this process now. All right? So as our whole identity is crumbling around us, right? This whole paradigm of who we thought we were and the place that perhaps we thought we had in the world up until now. As all of that is crumbling away, as our old ego identity is rescinding, remember, Do not fear. It is just you waiting to meet you in all your spiritual beauty and strength. It is just you waiting to meet you. All right? Are you ready to meet you? The true you, the true magnificence of who you are. Your true I am presence and power. Are you ready to meet that? Because the truth of who you are, your true you is ready to meet you. Your higher self, right? The card that came out in the beginning. It's just you waiting to meet you. And this aspect, the true you is waiting. The true you is ready. Is the you that you believe yourself to be ready? That's the tug of war. That's the balance. That's the spiritual awakening right there. As the you that you believe yourself to be resists meeting the truth of the you that you truly are. Oh, this is powerful. Let's see. And so the healing to do with this, the meditation that goes with this, I am going to read this for you guys because I feel like some of you guys are going to want to try this out. You're being told to imagine that you are standing in the center of a spiral that extends above and below you, with a softly lit, glowing goddess Kuan Yin beside you. Blossoms of flowers fall around her. Orchid motifs are embroidered on her clothing, and she plays a melody on a soft flute straight into your heart. As you look down, you can observe where you have been vibrationally and how much you have grown spiritually over the months and years. You look above and not only sense where you are going, but also feel the pull in your heart to help you get there. As you listen to Kuan Yin playing her flute into your heart chakra, you find that you are able to rise easily, your heart expanding as you ascend on the next rung of the spiral. Say thank you, Kuan Yin, Orchid Priestess of Divine Destiny, for your unconditionally loving assistance to help me step into the next phase of my divine destiny now. I embrace it with all my heart, so be it. Om Mani Padme Hum. And you feel yourself ascending to this new level of your spiral, taking a few deep breaths in this place, imagining hearing that flute playing within your heart center, and becoming more comfortable in this new turn of your spiritual spiral. And you really, from that point, just sink into your heart space and become increasingly aware of the feeling in your heart flowing down both sides of your body, into your hips, your legs, and feet, and then up from the heart to your chest, shoulders, and arms. So really above and below. And you keep everything centered in that heart space. And there's a prayer as well to the Orchid Priestess of Destiny, and the prayer says, my destiny is in my own heart, and you guide me deeper within myself, beloved Orchid Priestess, so that I cannot miss out on anything that is divinely ordained for me. It will always find me. At peace in my heart, I now receive that which is guiding me in unconditional love into the fullness and expression of my own divine being. Om Mani Padme Hum. And that's a great mantra for meditation. I feel like just meditating with that mantra will help to connect you with this energy. Om Mani Padme Hum. And let me see if all the meditations end with that. I'm curious. They do. So I feel like that's a mantra that can help connect you with your heart and with Kuan Yin's energy if you connect with her a lot. And I feel like at least somebody who's watching this reading really connects with Kuan Yin. All right. I'm also going to pull a white light oracle to close as well, because like I said, clear, I was also guided to this deck. So a closing card for those who don't have their own copy of the white light oracle. Closing card and guidance for this new moon in Cancer from the white light oracle. And from the white light oracle, we have Perfume of Sophia coming through, card 12. So it's 21 and 12 were the cards. Interesting, right? You will be able to sense the best timing and approach to take. To create space for healing and resolution, connect to your body and ground yourself in the here and now with body-friendly practices. You will find your way intuitively and instinctively, even though through confusing circumstances, Where one moment you are sure the answer is no, and the next moment you are sure it is yes. Give up trying to figure the answer out right now and remain open. So once again, aka get out of your head. With positive but relaxed expectation that clarity shall emerge spontaneously according to divine timing. And might I add, it shall emerge in that perfect divine timing once we're able to get out of the head and into the heart. And when we're in the heart, we're not in a state of fear. We're not in a state of urgency and anxiety. In our heart is where that divine timing exists, right? The heart is the portal to the fifth dimension. The heart is the portal to everything. And the time on the clock when I said that was 011444, for all of you who pay attention to numbers. Trust that your questions about your life will be answered. Even now, you are in the process of working your way toward the answers that will bring you clarity and higher understanding, even if you don't recognize it. Right? You are naturally and effortlessly working towards those answers. All right? Towards clarity and higher understanding. You don't have to understand how, just know that you are naturally doing it. There is a kindness in how the universe delivers a message. There is a story of 3 rabbis who went into a room and saw God. One rabbi dropped dead, the other went crazy, and the third one became enlightened. It was the same room and the same divine presence, so what accounts for the different outcomes? When we are ready for knowledge, divine guidance is incredibly helpful and healing. However, we may need certain experiences to become ready. There is as much grace in veiling a truth as in revealing it, and this is what the High Priestess in the Tarot understands. There is a beautiful Sufi teaching that destiny is granted with compassion. There is a time to prepare for knowledge, a time to receive it, and a time to live it. We'll read that again. There is a time to prepare for knowledge, a time to receive it, and a time to live it. This is all about the cycles that we're in. And remember, this Cancer energy is all about cycles, respecting the cycle and the phase of our journey that we are in. There is a danger in trying to force knowledge. Force is the desire to progress. And I think this is something a lot of us struggle with. So this is really important for us to realize. Force is the desire to progress faster than is naturally taking place. It is a disconnection from natural rhythms, the sacred feminine, the power of knowing and divine timing. The oracle of the perfume of Sophia asks you to trust your nose. The spiritual symbolism of the ability to smell is the capacity for discernment. In the words of Juliet in Romeo and Juliet, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. The nose knows. As you lean into natural timing, rather than trying to force something to happen, you'll remain connected to your own ground of being. You won't be pushing to get ahead. You'll be in connection with yourself. You'll be able to sense with your body and soul that which might otherwise confuse your mind, with its tendency to argue first one way then the other. You will instinctively sniff out the truth of a situation. Then you shall be able to do something useful with that knowledge. Developing the patience required to see us through times when we cannot know something, with trust and hopefully some equanimity. And remember, this is faith. All right, when we don't know and we don't understand, but we trust anyway. We trust the guidance we're receiving even when we don't understand it. That's a better way to say that, I think. Let's see here. Developing patience required to see us through times when we cannot know something, with trust and hopefully some equanimity, is an important part of our soul journey. If such times evoke fearful and negative predictions or anxiety based on a lack of belief that you can deal with whatever arises with grace and dignity, then work on those issues. Do what you can do now. Leave everything else up to the loving and wise workings of the universe. All right, and so if you are in this place of not knowing and you are having trouble trusting and having faith that the highest and best outcome will occur, that you will understand what you need to understand in due time, then work on that fear and anxiety. Work on that lack of belief. Work on whatever it is that is causing that lack of ability to trust. That need to know in order to feel safe. That need for control, right? That's what that boils down to. If you are pushing for a resolution, an answer, an understanding before it is time for you to know, you'll feel frustrated. It will be more constructive and enjoyable for you to engage with what is. Will it require the development of your character, the capacity for patience, for trust and faith, for commitment and devotion? Even when there is no evidence you shall succeed, yes, likely it shall. Especially if you are carving a path that is unique and creative. To live in such a way is wonderfully courageous and inspired and requires spiritual maturity. Aligning yourself with a greater wisdom and timing and surrendering yourself in its service is the basis of spiritual maturity. I'm going to read that again. Aligning yourself with a greater wisdom and timing and surrendering yourself in its service is the basis of spiritual maturity. You will have your answers, and in the interim, you are doing beautifully. Continue with your journey. And the healing process involves connecting to your body, focusing your energies on the present moment, in the here and now. So connecting with nature, doing yoga, stretching, meditating, breathing. Ways that you can connect, right? The spirit and the physical. So you saw with both of those meditations, right? The spiral meditation and this meditation from the White Light Oracle. It's all about connecting ourselves above and below, right? Even with the spiral, we were centering in the heart, but we were connecting above and we were connecting below. All right, so really working with those energies as we move through this. Right, the yin and the yang, the dark and the light, the masculine and the feminine. It's really about all merging all of these dualities during this Cancer new moon, and always in every single moment coming back to the heart, coming back to the heart, and coming back to the heart. I love you guys so much. You are so incredible. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you did, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and let me know. There are links to donate if you feel so moved to donate to the channel. But just know that every like, every share, every new subscription is just as good as a donation, and it helps these messages to continue to get out and for them to continue to reach whoever it is that they're meant to reach. Although, of course, we trust that they always do and they always will. I hope you guys have an amazing day, an amazing new moon, and I look forward to seeing some of you at the new moon ceremony. Until we meet again. Bye. If I can get this camera to shut off. We're going to try that again. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.